Hey y'all, this is John Trim from Bounding Into Comics, and I've got some Wheel of Time news for you. If you don't know, Amazon is adapting Robert Jordan's epic fantasy series into a live-action TV show, and we just recently got a bevy of casting announcements from showrunner Rafe Judkins. Judkins announced that actors Marcus Rutherford, Madeline Madden, Joshua Stradowski, Barney Harris, and Zoe Robbins were all cast for the show. They joined Rosamund Pike, who was previously announced to play Moiraine de Modred. Rutherford will play Perrin Ibarra, Madden will play Egwene Alvear, Joshua Stradowski will play Rand al'Thor, Barney Harris will play Matt Cauthon, and Zoe Robbins will be Nineveh. These announcements reveal that the characters of Perrin Ibarra, Nineveh Almira, and Egwene Alvear have all been race swapped. This might not come as a surprise to Wheel of Time fans. If you've been following showrunner Rafe Judkins on Twitter, you could have predicted a number of race changes were coming. Judkins shared a script grab regarding his and the show's idea of casting back in August of 2018. It's just a year ago. The script grab reads, quote, "As much as possible, our cast should look like America will in a few hundred years. A beautiful mix of white, brown, black, and everything in between," end quote. So if you've been following Wheel of Time, you know that they did a comic book, Dynamite Entertainment did a comic book adaptation of the first book, The Eye of the World, back in 2005. Not only were Nineveh, Egwene, and Perrin depicted as white in the comic book adaptation, but artist Ariel Burgess also depicted them as white in official Wheel of Time art, and they've pretty much always been depicted as white in any kind of official capacity. In fact, there's even notes from Wheel of Time author Robert Jordan from the Robert Jordan collection at the College of Charleston that detail the actors Robert Jordan modeled his characters after. Egwene was described as Audrey Hepburn at age 18, Nineveh was described as a young Jacqueline Bisset, and Perrin Ibarra was a young Val Kilmer. So, given the casting announcements, there's been quite a bit of discussion among the Wheel of Time fandom about this. And Brandon Sanderson, the author who took Robert Jordan's notes and completed the series after his death, and who is also consulting on the show, addressed the recent casting announcement on Reddit. And we're going to read his statement here. He stated, quote, "I'm 100% behind this casting, and I think Mr. Jordan would be as well. He specifically built Wheel of Time in a way where our current understandings of culture, race, and ethnicity no longer held. Beyond that, he worked very hard to try to make people's biases in the world break along gender lines or nationality lines, because those are the themes in the series he wanted to explore. One could certainly make the argument that a text trying to be colorblind has unfortunate side effects, but I think it's very valid to experiment with fiction like this. That was what Mr. Jordan was trying very hard to do." Sanderson would continue. Rafe is doing an excellent job here matching the souls of the characters to actors, and I think in the Wheel of Time that should come far, far ahead of racial considerations. As long as Rand has red hair and looks, end quote, looks ale, little else about ethnicity really matters in the text. I haven't met these actors and I don't know how they will act, but the look of them is very encouraging. They feel like the characters I read about from a quick glance. I suspect most of us could have named the character from the headshots for each of them. That's some great casting," end quote. So that's what Brandon Sanderson had to say. I don't know if I really believe him, especially when he says, "I suspect most of us could have named the character from the headshots for each of them." I guarantee you that most people, if they just saw an image of a photo of those actors and was asked, "Which character do you think this is in Wheel of Time?" I suspect most people would have absolutely no idea who these people were unless they were told who they were. And that goes for Rand al'Thor and Matrim Cauthon too. But I want to know what you think. What do you make of these casting decisions? Do you think this bodes well for Amazon's Wheel of Time series? Leave a comment below and let me know what you think. I'm John Trent, and you've been watching Bounding Into Comics.